It is God's will and delight that we actively resist being conformed to this world and seek instead to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. Now, Angela White, who we know as Black China, has gone through a beautiful transformation. If anybody has been following along, she's more healthy, more happy. She's in a beautiful relationship. She has this godly glow about her, and I'm bringing her up because I want to remind people that change is possible, and sometimes people we grew up around, family members, people we went to school with, they are not ready to accept the new you, the transformed you, the godly you. When you start to change and transform in your life, there is one thing I can guarantee: there will be people who do not like it. Usually people you grew up around, people in your family. Now, after you've changed for the better, people will try to remind you and everybody else about your past and will hold on to their image of you from the past. They find it difficult to let go of it and identify you with your new changes. That's because they find comfort in representing you that way in their life. They have you represented as something and themselves as something in relation to you. Now, because you changed, they can't simply change their impression because it involves changing the entire equation itself, which means changing themselves too. Remember, the old you before your transformation, the people around you would have interacted or responded to you in a certain way. But now that you have gone through a transformation, these people, they now have to change not just their mental map of you, but also their way of responding to you and representing you. And unfortunately, that's a lot of work on their end. So unless they are, truly willing and flexible to make the shifts, it just feels more convenient for the moment to hold on to the old beliefs about you. Try to avoid getting into debates or arguments or trying to convince your family or day one friends to acknowledge your change. The more you force it, the more frustrated both parties will be, which will then make it even more difficult for the other person to acknowledge the change. Just let them have their map. And I want you to smile and acknowledge their perspective and don't be affected by it. I know a man who used to be on heavy drugs and alcohol. This was almost 20 years ago. And anytime you bring him up, family and friends only remember his past. But this person now is teaching the youth about addictions and how to overcome them. So again, people only want to remember who you used to be. It's hard for them to see the new you. Let's normalize clapping for people, seeing their growth, seeing their change, and just being proud for them, happy for them. Why anytime we get around a group of people, we got to remind certain people that, he went to jail, or this person used to drink, or this person used to do whatever. What are they doing now with their life? Let's normalize clapping for people, being happy for people. Believe it or not, some people wake up one day and life is never the same for them again. And honestly, it's usually because, they went through something traumatic and God came through, and we never look back. It feels like a death and a rebirth. So, really quick video. Thank you for listening.